person who has it experiences the world, because obviously at a certain point they cannot express themselves very well anymore. And I'm just very curious to read how someone goes down that rabbit hole of less and less understanding to the world. And I think it works as a contemporary because it does not have to deal with a lot of the most modern stuff, because old people will still, it probably is a little bit dated, but old people will still be the same, probably. My grandmother, she ended up in a caring facility, and it's not as if she watched a lot of TV or used the phone a lot in the end, because she just simply couldn't. She actually chose to die herself by not eating and drinking anymore, which is very sad. So I'm curious how it will happen in this book. And the next challenge is a book I meant to read in 2018. And this is a non-fiction called The Therapeut by Irwin D. Yalom. I borrowed this from my brother quite a while ago. It's translated from English, where it's called The Therapist. And it's a showcase in how a therapist's office works, like a psychologist. My brother and his wife are both psychologists. So I think they read this book out of curiosity, or to see how it might work. Because I think this is an American perspective and it might be a little bit different, but I'm also just very curious how it works from the psychologist's perspective, because I've always only been there for the person who gets therapy, that perspective. So I hope I will have time. This is a little bit of a bigger book. I hope I will have time to read it. Let's go to a non-traditional format. I also stretched this one a bit because it just looks like a regular book. This is the other book I bought in South Africa. It's called Lach zonder grenzen, or Laugh Without Borders. And it looks like it's written in a regular format, but I believe it's stories and anecdotes, a little bit like someone who is performing stand-up comedy or blind comedy that looks like stand-up comedy. So it's a little bit less of a traditional format in that way, but I will have to wait and see if that's actually true. But I have never read a book that is written in such a way, so I'm curious to see if I find this funny or not, because this seems to be written by Ian Wessels, who apparently is one of the bigger comedians in South Africa. So I'm curious if I find it funny or not. And then a book with a picture on the spine, which is also a non-fiction. It's called Unforgiven Pleasures by Adam Phillips. It's a book that deals with, the picture is, by the way, the penguin from Penguin. It deals with how people are very attracted to the things that are forbidden in life, so to say are forbidden pleasures. And then I think it tells the story of what you can do to get the most out of the unforbidden pleasure, so the things you are allowed to do, how much fun and gain you can get from those. Which, at the time I bought this book, very much appealed to me, and it still at least does somewhat, because otherwise I would not have chosen to read it. It's funny how I just realized that there is about three non-fiction books on this TBR, because I normally don't read that much non-fiction, but it just fit with the challenges and it fit with my curiosity at the moment. So we'll wait and see what happens when I read the books, if I like them or not, for example. But this is it for now. Thank you for watching, and on tot de keer!